Hello everyone, and today we are going to create a blog website in Next.js 14. So Next.js, as you know, is a React framework for the web and used by some of the world's largest companies, and it enables to create full stack web application by extending latest React features and integrating powerful Rust based JavaScript tooling for latest fastest builds. So here in the Next.js org homepage, you can copy this command npx create next app at the rate latest. You can open your VS Code and then paste command in your terminal. So it will start creating the next app. So it will ask what will our project name. I'll write blog, right? Blog app. Okay. Let me write. Would like to use TypeScript for now? No. Yes, Aslint. Also Tailwind. Tailwind CSS for today. Actually, no. Source directory, yes. App router, yes, of course. Because Next.js 14 is all about app router. Import alias head rate, yes. Now it's installing our blog app. So it will be installed in a minute or so. So great, our app, blog app is now installed. Let me open a folder, stream blog app, and then open it. So here is our file created, this blog app inside source app. Here we have page.js and layout.js. So what we are going to do is let's clear the terminal npm run dev. It is started on localhost 3000. Let me just expand the window and let me converge these two windows so we can work and see our live code side by side. Okay, I will close the terminal. I will close the sidebar. Okay, let me refresh it. So this is our Next.js app. So this is the dummy page.js. So actually we will not be using it for now. Let me just remove some of the code, right? So we have styles.main, styles, let me also remove the image. We are important page.module.css. Okay, so we are creating a blog post. I'm going to show the latest blog posts here, and also I will make a functionality to add a blog post where you can add and like create a blog post for your app. So here is a layout.js, page.js, and okay, here is a layout. It has a metadata, root layout. Okay, cool. So this is a root layout. Okay, styles imported from our page.module.css. Actually, I will not be using this. Let me just remove this code. Right, so now inside main, okay, I think currently our background is black because we have global.css. It has, I think, a body. Inside body they must have written something like, yeah, inside body background color linear gradient. Okay, okay, it be Right. Okay. So inside page.module global.css, let me just remove this background color. Okay, background color, linear gradient. Okay, let me remove this also. Background color can be pure white. Okay, so here we are going to, okay, this is a globals.css. We will see if we want to use this. We can also use change font later on. So first inside page.js, we are going to show the latest blocks, right? Style dot, wait a minute. So body, I think color text color is, I think it should be white. No, actually black. Or we can actually just, okay, it's okay, let me set it to black. We have set the color to black. Here we are going to show latest blocks, right? So okay, inside layout.js, so this is a common layout for everything, right? So inside this, actually we can make a body component, right? Actually inside this we can make a header. Inside this we can actually write something like anchor tag. It will be home, right? And there can be about. Okay, so here href can be like something like home, then about. Href, we will write here about. Okay, so inside our app we will create a actually new route group. Actually let me create a folder with the components. I'm placing it inside circle brackets because I don't want to be included in the route tree of the Next.js, because every time you create a folder inside app, it will treat it as some route. So inside this, let me create a, okay, let me create a folder navbar. Inside this we are going to create page.js, and let me export default navbar. We are going to export it, export default function, actually navbar. We are going to return here the code we had just written inside for body. Okay, function, right? So we are exporting navbar. Now inside layout we can import navbar. components, and then navbar, then page.js, and inside this we will write navbar. Actually we will write and just close it here. Okay, so our navbar is rendered in our layout, right? So even inside this components navbar, we can create a file named I can write like page.module.css, right? So here we can write our navbar style. Let me style the navbar. Background can be gray. Let me set it to something lighter tone, or different color. Let me go to navbar. Wait a minute. Close this app. Module.css. Going to navbar, and here I'm going to import styles. Actually, in the place first I will just show you styles. So here actually we can use class name and styles dot navbar. Okay, here you can see our background is grayish tone, in the grayish tone. Let me change it to something actually bluish. Let me change it to something bluish. So color should be, of course, white because our background is just darker, in the darker tone. Okay, so let me change the font size, font weight, bold, and display of flags, and column gap. Column gap is 1 rem, and justify content space between, actually space between or space evenly, or space around. So okay, so this is our home, and about actually justify content. Let me just put it in the flex end. Actually space between is looking good, and we will now give it a padding of top and bottom is I think 0.1 rem, and left and right is 1 rem. Okay, it's good. Let me now create the latest blog posts. So we will now create another component. We will call it latest posts. I can see inside this again we will create a page.js file. We will write export default function, and then we can call it latest posts. And okay, latest posts. Now we will return the latest posts here. Let me just for now write a div, and here latest posts. Okay, so here we are going to show our latest post in the app.js, the page.js. Okay, inside our home actually, let me import components, and then latest posts, page.js. So latest blogs we have written. Actually, I will write here latest post. Actually, latest posts is a better name for this. Latest posts. Okay, so here I'm going to show the latest posts. So actually I will also create another folder named data. Okay, inside data I will create a something like latest, I can simply call it blogs.json, because it will contain our blogs, right? This is just a dummy JSON. Actually inside square brackets we will start making blogs. id, let's see, id is 001, and title of blog, let's say first blog, and then then I can say author, who's the author of this blog post, and then we can write the actual content. What is the actual content of this blog? Just write a very simple text. This is our first blog for this blog app in Next.js 14. Okay, right? So here we have created our first blog. Actually, now I will copy the same thing. Let's just call it the second blog. Just call it second blog for just demonstration purpose. For this id will be 002. Now we're going to import the data from this blog's JSON, and we're going to put it here. Let me try it. Import data from actually actually data. In the data we have blocks.json. Okay, let me first console it. Data. Let me console. Okay, we have this data shown here in the console log. Now I'm going to iterate this data. Let me put this inside h2. Okay, latest posts, right? So this is our latest posts, right? So now inside the div, okay, so I'm going to iterate over our data dot map. We usually use data map. Inside this there is a blog, and inside the blog I will going to return another div, and inside this we are going to first just render blog.id. Okay, we have these IDs shown in the blog, right? So just like that, we can write blog dot title and blog dot author and blog dot content. Okay, so as you can see right now, it's not actually very pretty, right? So in the latest post we are going to create page.module css file, Inside this we are going to first create blogs. Okay, so inside this we're going to import from page.module.css, and then inside, okay, I have not shown you that we have like imported here styles from page.module.css, but instead of styles we can actually just write anything very simple like underscore. I always use like this. It will tell me that I have used a CSS module here, so this will be very beneficial to make our code minimized. In page.module.css, let's also import underscore from page.module.css. Now inside this, let me just put it like this so that we know we are using a JavaScript inside this HTML. Let me use class name, and here we are going to underscore dot blocks, and let me put the first font size 1.2 rem. Okay, so font weight will be bold. Actually bold is just too much. Let me just give it a 500. It's actually looking good. Now I will write display of course flex, and now it is by default flex has always the direction of column. All items are rendered in column, So in this we will write flex extraction row, or I can say column. Actually it is rendered in a row by default, so we have to give the flex text as row. Now I will write row gap. Actually you can simply write gap, it will set row and column gap for all the flexbox items, right? So here is our, let me just write a padding of 1 rem. Okay, so this is our blog. So here I'm going to create a class name of blog blog detail, blog details. Let me write it also here. So here actually, let me first we don't want to render id here actually. All right, so we will use actually the key here. The key here is equals to blog dot id. So we do not have a error in the React that will say us that we have used not used key inside your map. So that it's always advisable to use key whenever you use map method inside your JavaScript. So we are going to show title, author, content. Title I will write with h2. Okay, so we have h2. Then blog author I will write with p tag. Then also blog content p. Okay, so so actually as you can see there is just everything is in the center. Okay, that's good. So this is our blog, and inside this blog let me also blog details. Okay, we are going to create a border on px solid, right? So you'll write a padding of 1 rem, and I will write border radius of 2 rem. Okay, so background can be something grayish. Let me just change it a little bit less grayish. Okay, it's looking not very prettier. Now we are going to remove our border. What I'm going to show is I want to write first block by code soak, second block by code soak, and then after that content. So what I want to do is now First I will write this and this. So I'll write h2 and p, and I want to write that by, or right. So I can put it inside I to italicize it. Okay, by code, and I want all these things the same line, so I can write name of title. Actually, we can change this block details lengthy name to even shorter details, because we do not want to worry about the naming clash in the CSS. You can write it simply details, and now I will write title, and let me put it here. Okay, we are given the title class name, display flags. Okay. Oh, I am using the CSS module, so we have to use the class name like this. So as you can see, now it's in the same line, right? So actually they are not very prettier. Let me write column cap 1 rem, and after that I want to write align items center. Okay, they are now in center. Let me reduce it to 5 rem. Okay, it's looking good. Actually, I want to set it to h4. h4. Okay, h4 is even bigger. Let me write h5. Okay, now it's looking good. Let me also write this by to h4. Okay, by code soak. Okay, it's looking actually let me remove this h5. Actually, I want to style it inside page module title. I will write title I, and I will write font size as 0.9 rem. I want to be a little bit smaller, and font weight is bold, and I want its color to be a little bit in the grayish tone. Okay, first block by code soak, second block by code soak. From, it can be from code soak or by code soak. Actually, by is good, or from. Okay, let me write just the by here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, so you can see the proper code. Remove this console log. So we are rendering our blog post from this blogs JSON that we have written inside our data inside blogs.json. Okay, so we have rendered our blogs. So this is good. Actually, inside details, I want to give a padding of 2 rem. So left and right should be more than top and bottom. So top and bottom can be even less. Okay, right. These are our latest posts. So we have created our post here. So actually, I also want to make it. Let me give the title. Actually, details color. I can change the color here. I'm going to give the gray color for all our title. Not really. Actually, be content. It's content. Let me give it a class name of content. And okay, so we have given a content class name. Then inside this module.css, I will create content class name, and where I want to first check set the color as gray, not that gray, just a little bit less gray. Okay, so now it's actually looking pretty good. So we will keep on changing these styles as we keep on developing our website, this blog website. So next we can actually do is create a page for creating our blogs, right? So for that, actually I will create I want to put a button here actually on this or left hand side or right hand side that says create blog. Okay, let me latest post. Let me write here div. No, actually over the top of this. I don't want to write in the latest post. I want to write it in the our page.js. Just above the latest post, we can write create post. Okay, why is styles.main? Let me check the style. Why is there so much space between this? Let me check the page.module.css. Okay, they have given a display of flags. Just a content space between. I don't want space between. Okay, so here padding is just too much. Let me write it 2. Okay, now actually top and bottom is 2. top is 2, right can be 4 rem, bottom can be actually 1 rem, and again left can be 4 rem. So that looks good. Now here I'm going to create a button, right? So button here, let me close this latest post, page.module.css inside page.js. So this is actually going to be a button. Okay. So inside our main page.js file, I want to create a class name for custom button, right? Actually, button is actually now taking the whole space, so that's not good. Let me write styles and replace it with underscore, and button class name should be dot button, right? So now we are going to style our button. So width should be fit content, snap padding should be top and bottom should be 0.5 rem, and it's just too much. Let me reduce it a little bit, and also reduce a little bit border radius. Border radius can be 1 rem. Okay, as you can see, there's a little bit of, let me show you a little bit of this outline, or I can say border. So for that you have to remove the border. You can write border none property, it will remove the border from here. Okay, so I can actually write, so this post text is taking the second line, so I want this to always in the same line, so I can write the white space property. Okay, no wrap, so I'm saying that I don't want it to wrap, so there should not be any white space. So now we have created our button. Let me just give a background color of button as green. Is it looking good? Okay, text should be font. It should be bold, right? Let me increase its left and right little bit. Okay, let me increase this post and let me increase this. Okay, now it's looking good. Now what I will do is, actually I will make this its color as green, and its color is green and background is will be very light green. So yeah, so here as you can see, even more lighter. Okay, a little bit more greener. Okay, so as you can see, we have very nice looking create post button. or I can change its name to create blog, create new blog, and here I want to add a plus icon. Let me write it as h2. We are trying out some things. Let me check if plus icon is bigger. Now inside our button we have a we will write display of flex to make it in the same line, and align items center, and then column gap I will give it 0.5 rem. Right, so now it's looking pretty good. And on the hovering, our cursor is not changing, so I will give it a cursor property as pointer. So as I am hovering over this, it's changing to a thumb, right? The finger. Now on the hover, I want to change its background a little bit. Just copy this background color property. I want to make it a little bit darker so that user know that they are hovering over it. Button hover. When I am hovering over it, it is changing to darker green. It's too much darker. I want to make it less greener when hovering. Okay, now it's good. Now when I click on this create new blog, I want to go to some other page. So we are going to create our new route. Now we're going to create a new route, that is create blog. And inside this we're going to write page.js file, because Next.js will always render the content inside page.js file to the route. So I will write export default. Let me zoom in a little bit, shift this a little to the right. Okay, zoom out a little bit. Okay, just export default function, and now create blog, return. Inside this we are going to create our blog. Let's just write create blog and check if our page is actually working. Now inside create blog, okay, here is a create blog. So our route is working. Let me write it inside h2 to make it bigger. Create blog. Okay, so again inside create blog we are going to add our css with a page dot module dot css, and inside this we are going to create class name main. Inside this we are going to do a padding of 1 rem. Padding of 1 rem is given inside create. Let me close this blocks.json, this module inside app, create blog. Okay, we will now import our styles here. Import from page.module.css, and we'll apply this class name, and we'll write actually main, right? So here we have created it. Now we are going to create a form. Actually, here we are going to create a label named title. We want to give the title of our document, and inside input inside input okay inside input we are going to create a input type of text. Let me write the text here. Where is the text? Okay, text. And we are going to connect them with the for and id. For will be title and id will be title. Right, so actually it is rendering this input background as gray. I think there must be some styles applied in our app as input. Let me search for input. I think it should be in page.js. Huh. Okay, let me now change our whole layout. I want to change the whole body, right? So here let me change the global.css. Body background color is black in the page.module.css. Our body main is okay, layout.js. Page let me go to back, zoom out a little bit, and in the main class we have anything like background color? Okay, for now let me just comment this whole code. These all media queries, I don't need them for now. Actually I can even delete them. Okay, right. So what I want is I want to apply a background of, okay, I think we have okay, background is white. For blogs there should be a background of white. So page.module.css. Okay, for now we will not worry about our background color. Let me write create blog. Okay, create blog. Let me just create our form. Let me write dot main form background color, as white. I think in the form input, yes, we now it's rendered in the white. Border none. Okay, border 1 px solid gray. Now I will write border radius. Let me zoom in it a little bit so that we know what is happening. Okay, border radius 1 rem and padding should be 0.2 rem and 1 rem. When we write something, okay, color should be color. Text is not visible, so that's why I have to change it to black, right? Hmm. Actually, border can be 2 pixels, right? It's looking good. Now I will also style the labels inside our form. So I can write form label and form label. I can write first I want to display block so that it should be rendered in a single line, and after that label should be font size 1.1 rem, font weight, when font weight should be of 500. Okay, let me just change it to bold. Bold is also good. So main, so we have create blog and form. Let me also write a display of flex traction, and it should be column, and the row gap should be, I think, a more of 2 rem. So now as you can see, our form has a space of 2 rem between this create blog and title. So label, I'm going to also add padding to our label. Padding should be, top should be, I think, 0.5 rem, left should be right should be 0, bottom should be again 0.5 rem, and left should be 1 rem. Okay, so now our title, I think it should be even less, 0.1 rem. Now it's looking a little bit good. Okay, title is now set. Now we are going to create, let me just write the title and comment it so that we can know this is a field for title, and then after that we will make a field of our author. Now we will repeat the same process of writing the label, write author. Now for should be author, and right, and then input again, input should be type of text, and id should be author. Okay, so we have this author and title. Now we are going to create the content, actual content of our blog. So for that I will be using the text area. So here content, right? So here will be for content, for will be content, I will be using text area, right? So text area and input, I think I can write comma in text area, it will be applied to text area. No, so I have to write main form and text area and copy this same styling from our input, and I will give text area rows, or rows I will give the number of something like 10. Let me zoom out a little bit. So as you can see, we have lots of rows. Let me zoom out a little bit more. I want this content to be more wide, so for that I will also define columns. Columns might be 50 columns, 50 columns, even less. Let me write 100. 100 is actually too much. Let me write 80. 70. Okay, 70 is actually good. So I also want our labels to have a color of gray, because they are now too much popping up visually. So here I will make it a lighter gray. This is too much. Okay. So here we have our title, author, and content that we can create. Now again, we can create a actually button, right? Inside the form, I also want to create the submit button. For that, we are going to create the button. Actually, we had already created a button inside our home, so I will use this same button. So for that, we have to create a custom component, right? Component. Then we can create a folder named custom components, or I can simply write custom, right? We don't have to write custom components. So inside this I can write button. Okay, so inside this button page.js. Okay, so I can write export default function button. We are actually creating a custom button for us. Return. Now I had created a button in the main page. this. I'll write, copy it inside our button page. I will copy this, and as you can see, we will accept a prop, right? So prop can be something like text, right? So we will get a text prop in this button component, text, right? So okay, I will also create a new inside this button, custom button. I will create a page dot module dot css, there is 3 css I had written by mistake. Okay, css. Then I will create a button. So I had used a class name here in the button, in the main page.module.css. I will copy this whole code, cut it from here, and write inside here. Also button hover class. Okay. So inside our app.js, now I can also import this button. Import button from components, custom button, page.js. Okay. If I write only button, it will work. Let me see. And remove class name from here. Actually, let me remove this, and instead of this getting a prop text, I can take the children prop that will render whatever we have written inside the button. Okay, so inside our button, right, we will import from page.module. Okay, now in the create blog, okay, we are getting error in the app. It is saying that cannot found module. Okay, so button should be, so inside our button we are exporting it. Everything is looking good. I think I have to write page here. Yes. Remove this. Okay, so now our button is rendering properly. We have to just import the button from this component and it will be rendered. Every style will be even applied at this button class. We do not have to create our button component again and again. So that is the power of custom components. Now in close our app and create blog. Let me go to, okay, so I want to, on the click of this button, I want to go to the create new page. So for that, I think okay, I will be back in a little bit, right? So I will Wait a minute. I will start a timer here, and I will back in like 20 minutes. Okay. So okay, I'm back here. So let's see. On this, let me just go through the Next.js documentation. Let me see how we can write to different pages. Next.js, learn Next.js and start learning. Here we have start chapter 1. Wait a minute. Okay, we have this navigating between pages. Okay, how to use the next link. Okay, next link component. How to show an active link, the use path name hook. So we have to use next link to get to the right. So inside inside this app, inside this button, create new blog, we have to actually import link from next link. So we are going to use this link to go to next page. So link, I will be using this, copy this code inside this, comment this button, remove this button from here because now we do not need that. Actually we have to we have to provide some href, right? Href attribute. Let me write here create blog, right? Let me click on this. Okay, we're going to create blog. Now we only have to style this link. For that I'm going to again put this link inside our custom. Let me create a new link. Wait a minute, I have to remove this inside custom. Okay, link, then collapse this inside link. I will create a page.js file. I will create a page.module file, module.css file. So page.js, export default function. Inside this there can be a link, custom. Okay, so what we can do is actually instead of creating a new link, we can import button. We can write the code for link inside button. Link from next link So instead of this button, we will write link, right? So link. So I will just for now just remove this folder, delete this folder. We don't need that for now. Create blog. Where is our app? Page app here. Inside this link, we are actually going to import the button. Import button. Components, custom, and button. Okay. So what we can do is we can actually, let me see here, we are going to replace the link with button and href. Inside button href, we are going to receive href. So link href. So instead of creating page.js, I can create index.js. So for that, I don't have to write again /page. So our import command will be little bit smaller. And now we have created index.cs. Let's remove this. So we have inside button our link. So it has this children coming from this. This is actually the children that we are going to put inside button. They will be rendered here. Then there is a href coming from here, right? Create blog post. Now let's see if it is working. Okay, we're going to next page. So it's working. So we have used next link to go to the next page. We'll close this, create blog. The create blog. Let me write submit. Okay, I have to actually, I think, create a link button. Now I will copy this whole button, and inside this link we'll create index.js, and we'll paste this link from link. I will name it actually link. Can I name it link? In the app.js, I will import link from components, custom, and link. I will use this link here. We will give this add this text, remove this button. Now inside this link, link has already has been declared, so we cannot use two links inside single React component. So what I can do is link as navigation link. Actually it's a default, so I can write here navigation link. I think it will still work. Inside our link we will create a page dot module dot css module dot css. Inside this we're going to create the same. Let me write it main. We do not want it to be inside our links page dot module dot css. Copy this. Then inside index.js of link we're putting this. I will replace the button class with main. Okay, we'll go to this page navigation link. Okay, link. Inside this we have to provide a href, create blog. Okay, so our link is now also styled, so we can close this app, close this index.css, close this. Then inside button we will replace the button class with main, because we have replaced this button class with main. Close this page.module, close this. Our button is now ready. Now we are going to import our button from our custom components custom, and then button, right? Because we have written index.js, so we can simply import button. And let me just go to create new blog. Inside button we have to use the button now. We'll close this, remove this line, class name, we remove this import, and now we have also button rendered in our create blog. So this is done. So if I write a title, something, author, something, and submit, okay, it is submitting our form. So right, we have a great blog, but now we want to do something on this blog. When we create something, a blog, I want to add this inside this data, actually in this data blogs.json. So let me see how we can do that. So on the click of home, I want to go to our home page. So in the app.js, in the latest posts, no, in the layout.js, the navbar component, we have used anchor tags, but I will be using link tags. Import link from next/link, right? We will replace all A's with link, and I'll also write link here, about. Okay, so href is actually root path. So for home is root path. Okay, we're going to root path. Actually, this button here is bigger, but this button is smaller. Why is that? We are using the body class. Let me go to the global.css. Body max width is 100 vh, overflow x is hidden. Okay, let me not hide it. Okay, right. So our content is taking too much. It is going out of this our page. So also this summit is smaller than this sum. Let me check the code, custom code. It is same, but have we used font size? We have not used font size here. So I think the font size is coming from the app.js. Class name is main. Let's remove these buttons from app.js. Home, this link. Okay. If I remove this, then I go to this page. No, it's actually bigger. It's actually bigger. So I think we have to use a simply plus sign. Right? Create new blog. Okay, so everybody in our new blog, this submit button is smaller. I don't know why. Let's go to our create components, create blog, page.js, main padding, row gap. Okay. So we will check that later. So our navigation is working with our page. We have created our form. Now what I want is when we add some form, it will be created in this data blocks.json. We have created some dummy blogs. It's first blog, second blog. There's the ID, title, author, and content for that. Inside the home, you can check. This is our uh, title, this is author, this is actual content. So okay, what I want is on this form, after entering the fields, it will add the ID in here, right? Close this, also close the app. Now inside create blog, we can actually use a async function. We can name it create blog, right? So inside this we can use a server functions, that is with server, use server, and I can get the form data. Let me console it, console.log form data. Okay, let me just check it real quick. Submit. There's some error. That, did you mean HTML4? It's not accepting 4. Okay. Wait a minute. HTML4. Now it's compiled. We have not used form, not seen the form data. Okay. Let me again submit it. Check inside the console log. Okay, the form action we had not provide inside this create blog. Okay, now it's form data is currently undefined. Actually, let me simply create this create function. And again, inside this form data is again undefined. Is great. We have used everything correctly. Let me use it form, also use the name here with the input. And also name here right? So again, check our form. Okay, so we have to write HTML4. So even then, okay. So, okay. Let me again write the dev server npm run dev. Now again, okay, then form data is still undefined button. Let me use the input 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 type submit, and okay, value. Okay, let me just form data is still undefined. And okay, cool. So we are going to